In this video, let us see how to push code to GitHub using Python. Yes, that's right. You can push code to GitHub using Python, no git needed, no traditional git commands. Instead of you using the git add command, git commit command, then pushing it manually, what you can do is you can use Python itself. You consider when you run the script, the repo gets created automatically and the files will be uploaded. So let me show you the demo here. You consider I have your code here, and when I run this Python script, the repo will be created automatically here. And when I go to the browser and when I click on refresh, you can see that the repo is created. So this is one script, right? When you run the same script, you can see that when you run this, the files will be automatically uploaded to the GitHub. You can see that when I refresh, you can see we got all the files. So this is what we're gonna do. So this will be helpful when you want to automate the git push commands using Python. So let's get started. First, here you can see I have your project folder here. So we need to install one Python script. So for that, we need to open up your command prompt and just type pip install PyGithub. We need the PyGithub to interact with the GitHub. So just type pip install PyGithub. We can see the requirement already satisfied. Then what we can do is we can close the terminal. Then we can import now. So from GitHub, we're gonna import the GitHub, and we need the OS library. Then we need to define the token. So because we want to authenticate with the GitHub, right? So we need to get the access token from the GitHub. So what I will do is I will get it from the environment variables. So here I have a .env file, right? So I will store the GitHub token here. So GitHub token equal to, so we need to get the token. Let me show you how to get that token now. So if you head out to your GitHub page, you can say this is my home page. Here just click on your profile and go to settings. And here if you scroll down, there will be an option called the developer settings. Just click on that. Then you have an option called the personal access token. Just expand that, and inside that click on tokens classic. And here you need to generate a new personal access token. Just click on generate new token. I'm gonna create a classic token. Just give a name for our token and then select the scope now. So the scope will be, make sure you select all the things here, repo, workflow. So make sure you select, it says when it says admin, it will be very important. Make sure you select the admin ones as well as any other important ones. So once you have selected all of that, then just click on create. So let me click on generate token. So we got the token here. So I will delete this token after this video, and let me paste the token here. Now we got the token, right? So here we can use this token to authenticate with the GitHub. Let's also use our folder path. What project that we want to push it to the GitHub. So we'll have to provide the path here. So for this example, what I have taken is this. I have taken the sample folder here. And inside this, I have a main.py file. And this main.py file is a very basic keylogger. Consider keyboard listener application using logging. So this is a very basic Python script there. So I'm gonna upload this to the GitHub. So let me copy its path and I will paste the path over here. So this is our folder path, right? So once we have the folder path, we can authenticate to the GitHub. So and before that, let's also give our repo name. So repo name equal to, so we can give any repo name. So this repo will be created automatically. So this will be my Python upload repo. You can give any name. So this is our repo name, right? Then we can create connection to GitHub using the token. So G equal to GitHub, inside this pass the token. So once we have the GitHub object, then we can authenticate the user. So user equal to, we can get the user, then we can create the repository. So create new repository. So repo equal to, so user dot create repo. So inside this pass the repo name, and if you want the repo to be private, you can set the private equal to true, or you can set the private equal to false. And then what we can do is we can print a message like repo created successfully. So let me run the Python script now. I hope everything is okay. So let me run the Python script. So actually we got a error here, authentication file. So I failed to import the .env. So from .env, I'm gonna load the load.env. So let's initialize our function there. So then only our env file will be loaded successfully. Now let me run the Python script again. And this time you can see we successfully authenticated and repo created successfully. Now we can go to the GitHub, and let me go to the GitHub and we can refresh. Consider our repo has been created successfully here. Let me go inside the repo. We don't have anything here. We'll have to upload our files to this repo. So let me show you how to do that now. So now we have created our repo, right? When we run this again, we don't want to create each time. So what I will do is instead of create repo, I will set the method to get repo. And let me remove this argument called the private. So this should give us the repo object. So let me also change the command to, instead of create a repo, this time it should be get the repo. So now we have the repo object, right? Then we can upload our files. So for that, what I will do is I will create a function. So upload folder to GitHub. So inside this, what I will pass is I will pass the repo name as well as the folder path. So the consider this is the repo object, and then I will pass the folder path. So let's create that function. So this function will take the as usual repo object, then the folder path, and then parent path equal to this will be an empty path. So inside this function, we want to loop through the folder path, because if there is multiple files, we'll have to loop through now. So for item in OS listed directory, and inside this just pass the folder path. This should give us the individual item. Then you consider this is our project folder, right? If there is multiple files, we'll have to route to them. So then we should get the full path of the files. So full path equal to, so we can get the path location, right? So where is that path that join? We can join folder path as well as the item. This should give us the full path of the file. So then we can get the repo path as well. So repo path equal to, so here where is that path that join? So I will join the parent path as well as the item. So you can say we have set the parent path to empty string. So to this we will join the item. So now we have the repo path as well as the full path, right? Then what I will do is I will check if the file is present there or not. So if os dot path dot is file, so I will check if that is a file. So is file. So I will pass the full path. First we will check if that is a file, but next case if that is a folder again, then we will do another if case. So I will show you that in a minute. So if that is a file, I'm gonna open that file. So we to open, just pass the path. So I'm gonna open this as read mode. So the encoding should be UTF-8. So I will open this as file, and then I will get all the contents. So content equal to file.read. This should give us all the contents. So once we have the content, then what we can do is we can create the file. So repo object, using the repo object, repo.create file. So this command is equivalent to git add and git commit. So inside this we need to pass 3 parameters. So this command is equivalent to git add command that you usually do using the git commands. Then it should be equivalent to git commit. So it combines both the commands, git add as well as the git commit. So inside this you need to pass the repo path. Then you need to pass the commit message as well. So you can say this is our repo path. Then you need to pass the commit message. So the commit message you can give anything. So added, you can give added files, or you can give added each file individually. So I'm going to use the f string and say added this file repo path. Then we'll have to pass the content as well. So this is one way that we have added if that is a file. So let me print a message here, uploaded the file that is repo path. But if the file is folder, what we will do that? We'll have to call our function again. So I will use another else if that is a folder, that is directory. So where's that path that is directory? So inside is pass the full path. So what I will do, I will call the function again. So upload folder to GitHub. So we will pass the full path, repo object, and the repo path. So this is it. So actually this is upload folder to GitHub. So let me replace the function name. So basically what we are doing is, if the project folder contains another folder like this source, so inside this you may have many other files like this. So let me create a text file inside this folder. So this should be sample. So inside this text file I will put some content here. So this should be testing. So this is what we are checking here. If the file path is a folder, then we will call the function again to add all the files inside the folder. So that's it. We can print a message over here at the bottom. So all files uploaded successfully. So let me run the Python script now. So python main.py. Actually we got a error here. So let me fix that one now. So here while calling the recursive function, you can say this here, this should be repo now, because the order is very important. This is repo and this is full path. In the function declaration, first I pass the repo, right? So we need to pass accordingly. So this should be repo, full path, and repo path. So now this is fine. So let me run the Python script again. So python main.py, you can say uploader main.py and uploader sample.txt. All files uploaded to the GitHub. Let me go to the GitHub and let me click on refresh. And you can see we got 2 files here. The problem is, this is just a basic implementation of this. So I will provide the link in the description where the source code is there. What you can do is you can modify according to your needs. Consider, so instead of uploading the folder, you consider we got a full path over here. This is a text file. Basically it should be inside the source folder, right? But it uploaded as a single file. So I will provide the source code in the description. Feel free to modify it. So make sure you create a pull request there. So I will modify it in my source branch as well. You can see this is the repo code here. Let me go to main.py file. Actually in this main.py file I forgot to add that load.env. So from the .env we are going to import the load.env. So let me add that line here. So this should help you. So make sure you modify this and give your pull request. I will review it and accept it in my main branch. So this is for this video. This is how you upload all the files to the GitHub using Python. You don't need the git commands. You can use this simple Python stuff that it will be very helpful when you want to automate something. So this is for this video, and they will continue in the next one. Again, I will provide the GitHub link in the description. You can check that out.